Hi guys, this is Ben Cross, consulting chef for Aqua Indonesia. I hope everyone's keeping well and safe at home. Today we're going to be cooking two Indonesian-inspired dishes as part of the second Cooking with Aqua series. So to start off with, we're going to run you through the dishes, what the ingredients are, and then we'll get started cooking. So for our first dish, we're going to make a corn Kadal, which is an Indonesian fried corn cake. For this, we need some nice sweet corn, nice yellow color. We're going to use a little bit of shallot, small green chili. This one's optional because it's got a bit more heat. We're also going to use large red chili, take the seeds out, so it's just for the flavor, not so much heat in that one. A little bit of garlic, seasoning, egg, self-raising flour, or you can use plain flour with a little bit of baking soda. So to start the percadal, we're going to grab 2 shallot, 1 medium-sized garlic, and 1 small green chili. This is going to just be roughly chopped. Then we're going to put it into the blender with a little corn and the eggs, and we're going to make the batter. So for this, just needs to be roughly chopped. You don't need to worry too much. Same with the garlic and the chili. Like we said before, the chili is optional. This small green chili adds a little bit of heat. If you don't like things too spicy, you can leave that out, because we're going to add a little bit of the red chili at the end through the mix, which will fold through with the lime leaves. For this, you can use a blender like this, a stick blender. To make the batter, we're just going to put these ingredients inside like such. Crack 2 eggs. And then we're going to clean our corn into a bowl. We're going to use about 5 pieces of corn. 3 pieces to make the batter, and then we'll leave 2 in whole kernels to fold through at the end, so you get nice texture. So for this, easiest to just cut straight into a bowl. You don't want to cut too much of the kernel off. You want to just get the outsides like that. Let's maybe do that. Careful not to cut yourself. If it's easier, you can just cut this on a chopping board and put it in the bowl afterwards. Okay, so that's 3 pieces of corn. Okay, so we're just going to now tip this in to make our batter. So next step, we're going to blend the batter. We've just got our corn, garlic, a little bit of chili and shallot inside. Just put that on top. I'll start on low. Okay, so that's the base to our batter done. You can see it's quite runny, but it'll thicken up a bit later when we add the corn kernels, flour, aromats, lime leaves, a little bit of chili, and then it will be ready to fry. So this one we're just going to pour back into the bowl. And use the same bowl to save washing up. No one likes washing up. Okay. So we're going to add 2 more pieces of corn. These ones are done, they can go in the rubbish. So for this, again, we're just going to add them. So this won't get blended again. Just going to add that through, and that's your texture. You can see that's starting to thicken up a little. So now we're going to add the last of our aromats, which is just a little bit of red chili and lime leaf. Let's get 2 nice lime leaves. If you don't have lime leaf, it's okay, you don't have to use this. This is kaffir lime leaf, which you can get at most Asian supermarkets. Same with the chilies. If you can't get this exact same chili, you can always use something that's native to where you are or available to where you are. These are pretty generic type of chili. Okay, so we just take out the stem, the center of the lime leaf, and we're just going to fold this up like such, fold it over, and then we're going to cut it as fine as we can. Just add that to the mix. Next, for the chili, take the end off, cut in half. We're going to remove the seeds, just push the knife down flat, like such. You can use a teaspoon to take the seeds out, which is probably a little easier. And then, there we go. And this one, again, we're just going to cut as fine as we can. Start at one end. And then cut just a little bit smaller and into the mix. Break up the corn. You can see that's getting a lot thicker already. Now we're just going to add our seasoning, which is a good pinch of salt, white pepper. Okay, so the last step to this, we're going to add our flour. For this, normally we'd use self-raising flour, but for today we're going to make our own, just using a little bit of plain flour with baking soda. So this is 100 grams of flour, and we're just going to add about a teaspoon, half a teaspoon of baking powder. Give that a good mix up. The flour for this doesn't have to be exact, it's all about texture. So it'll depend on how much moisture your corn has. And we're just going to add a little at a time. So I'm going to add about half this and we'll fold it through. And then just mix it by hand. You can see that's still a little bit wet. So we're going to add the rest of our flour, which will be the full 100 grams. Now it's starting to come together. Okay, that's good. If it can hold in a small kind of ball on the spoon, it's the right consistency. If it runs off, just add a little bit more flour. Okay, now we're ready to cook. Okay, so we've got our oil here. It looks hot enough. You can start to see it blistering on the surface, a little bit of smoke, but if you've got a thermometer at home, it's much easier. So we're looking for around 180 degrees Celsius. But the easiest way to test is by just putting a little bit of the corn. So take about that much, 2 spoons, and then let's just drop that in. So at the moment this is on really low heat just to keep the temperature consistent. We don't want it heating up while it cooks. That looks about right. We'll just give it a little turn. It'll take 1 to 2 minutes, and then we're going to pull them out and put them onto some paper towel or a napkin. Drain the oil off. Okay. go. That's our first. Now we can do a few more. Okay, so you can see these nice golden brown color. That's about 2 minutes, so we can pull those out onto the paper towel. So our corn Kadal or corn fritters are cooked. Now we're just gonna simply plate, put some in a bowl. You've got a few options with serving these. Indonesia, we love to eat with a little bit of sambal. So here's a little sambal which was left over from last night, but any chili sauce, store-bought sauce is good and convenient as well. And then maybe we just put a little bit of fresh herbs. So for the moment, I've just got some coriander. I'm just gonna stick on top. Such, and there we have it, ready to go. Perfect. Okay, so for our next dish, we're going to do a pan-seared piece of barramundi with a little sambal dabu-dabu. So sambal dabu-dabu is a dish or a condiment from Sulawesi. We're going to do a play on it because generally in Indonesia there's a lot more chili, sometimes shrimp paste. For ours, we're going to make quite simple and basic. The base ingredients to it, we have some shallot, garlic, chili, lemongrass, lime leaf, large red chili, and then coconut oil. And then at the end, we're going to add some diced tomatoes with the seeds taken out, and we've got some beautiful barramundi. If you don't have barramundi, you can use whatever fish is available local to you. A tip is to pick fish that has skin on, because when we cook, we're going to cook it 80% through the skin and then turn it. The other trick is to pull the fish out to room temperature, not straight from the fridge, and then that way it'll cook a lot quicker and a lot more even. Here's the base ingredients for our sambal dabu-dabu. We've got our sliced shallots, sliced nice and thinly, red chili, which we took the seeds out, and then again nice and fine, the lemongrass, which is just finely sliced. The key for a lot of this is to keep everything nice and fine so you don't get chunks in your mouth, and it's nice and easy to eat. We've got our green chilies, garlic, lime leaf, and then on the side we've got our nice ripe tomatoes that have just been diced with the seed taken out. What we're going to do next is we're going to heat some of this coconut oil in a pan until it's smoking hot. We'll mix this together with a little salt, and then we're going to pour the hot oil over the top, and it's going to partially cook and help sweat all the flavors out, and then we'll finally add the tomato. Okay, so this is ready to mix together. Just give it a rough mix, ready for our hot coconut oil to go over the top. Okay, add a pinch of salt. Then we'll grab our oil, which is over on the stove. Okay, so you can see the coconut oil is smoking, and what we're just going to do is push this together, and we're going to pour it over the top. It's probably about 100 mils, 150 mils of oil. Just enough so it emulsifies and slightly cooks the shallots, garlic, chili, lime leaf. Okay, we're just going to add a little squeeze of lime. Again, mix. Now ready to add our tomato. This is like a nice fresh flavored sambal, which is similar to, I guess, a salsa, but really good with any kind of seafood. Traditionally, this would be used with whole fish cooked over the barbecue, but we make a version that's easy for you guys to cook at home while everyone is isolating. Okay, so if we have a look at that, that's what we're looking for. Okay, now we're ready to cook our fish. So I've got just a black pan. You can use any pan you like, but ideally it needs to have a thick base to it. The way we cook this fish, if the skin sticks to the pan at the beginning, that's actually what we want because it will keep it nice and flat. As it cooks, it will self-release. 5 minutes on low temperature. And what we're going to do is just use a little bit of tissue and just wipe a tiny bit of oil in there. Okay. Our fish, we're just going to lightly season the skin. Make sure the skin's nice and dry, not too wet. And then we're just going to go straight down into the pan. As such. The trick is when it first goes down, you want to push down to keep it nice and flat. So that the skin stays in contact. And then once the skin sticks to the pan, we're going to add a little bit more oil just to help it cook. Okay, the whole time this is just going to stay on a low temperature, and we want it to slowly cook up through the skin until we can see on the fish that it's 3/4 cooked. As it cooks, you can see here from the bottom, it's slowly starting to cook up through the fish. So basically we're going to wait till it gets probably 3/4 of the way through, and then we know it's ready to turn and finish the cooking process. It's a really easy way of cooking fish because you can see exactly what's going on and when it's going to be ready. Okay, so this has been cooking for 4 to 5 minutes. We can have a look up close here. You can kind of see it's 3/4 cooked through. Just the top still needs cooking. That's on the lowest heat still, and now we're just going to turn the fish over. Okay, so you can see that it's nice and crispy on top. Beautiful colour. You can hear that. It's like pork crackling. Now we're just going to cook that on that side for literally only 60 seconds and pull it off, and then the fish will rest through and be cooked perfectly. Okay, that's done. Now we're going to, okay, our fish is done. We're going to go onto the plate. 2 pieces, big serve. Sit that there. We've got our sambal that's just been sitting for about 10 minutes, and we're just going to spoon this over the top, like so. There. Grab a little bit of olive oil. This one's not traditional, but it does taste good. Put a little bit of olive oil over the top. And just one more squeeze of lime. There we have it. We've got our seared barramundi with sambal dabu-dabu. Let's give it a little test. Okay, there you go. You can see our fish cooked perfectly, still juicy, skin's crispy. So just take a little bit of that. Perfect. That's us done today. If you'd like to try these recipes, we'd love if you would add the hashtag cooking with Aqua so we can check out your images and how you've done. I hope everyone stay safe and healthy during these times, and thank you for watching.